Welcome to Rappler Presents HIPE Stories, a show about high-impact Pinoy entrepreneurs. And Pinoy in this case means anyone committed to the Philippines. In partnership with Rappler, we bring you the entrepreneurs who dream big, scale up, and pay it forward here in the Philippines. I'm Manny Ayala. Joining us today is seasoned operator and entrepreneur Jaime González Fernández. Jaime is the co-founder of Pickup Coffee, one of the fastest scaling consumer brands in the Philippines today. With a strong background in operations and logistics, Jaime has played a pivotal role in building businesses that run with speed and precision, from startups to scale-ups. Welcome to the show, Jaime.
Hello, how are you doing?
Okay, my first question. Okay, this is a very hard question. You're somebody with a background in aerospace engineering. You worked for Airbus. You worked at McKinsey. What are you doing building a coffee startup? How did that all come together?
Well, that's a very good question. I was actually in the airport almost 3.5 years ago, flying back to Spain for my Christmas holidays, and I received a call from Diego. I'm like, oh, Diego's calling me. Hey, Diego, what's going on? And
Diego
he goes like,
Lorenzo.
yeah, my co-founder.
Yes, your co-founder.
Yeah, and he was like, hey, Jaime. I said, what's up? And he goes like, well, I just had this idea about starting a fast-growing, affordable, high-quality coffee company in the Philippines. Would you like to become my co-founder? I'm like, I have no idea about coffee, but why not? Sounds interesting. So that was actually the spark that ignited very fast and caught fire, and now the result is Pickup Coffee.
Okay, well, so maybe we have to rewind even before that, which is, how did you end up in the Philippines?
I visited the Philippines by pure coincidence back in 2017 as part of a course. I was doing my MBA in the States, and we had a course where you actually spend 10 days in an emerging market working for a local company. And there were like 40 different destinations you could choose from, and I chose the Philippines because it was the furthest away from Boston. And I said, might as well, why go to Peru, which is only 8 hours ago, and I can go to the Philippines, which is 24 hours away.
Yes.
And
at that point, did you know anything about the Philippines?
Zero. I had never been to Asia, and I have never been to a young country as such.
Did you know about our historic relationship?
I knew a little bit, but I know much more now.
Okay.
But I came here having zero expectations, right?
Yeah.
And we had a very nice speech by Yasa, Jaime Augusto, and he was beyond inspiring. He started speaking about the beauty of the Philippines, the kindness of the Philippines, how young people are, how much energy there is, and of course, how much potential there is, how strong the peso is, inflation and all that. And I told myself, wow, this is where things are happening. This is where young people are.
So is it true what he said about the Philippines?
It is very true.
Very true.
He didn't talk about many other things that I found out after the fact. And of course, he talked more about the beauty than other things that you find out on the way.
We can talk about that later.
We can talk about that later. But it is, so far it's been true. And I guess Pickup Coffee is a clear example of the power and the beauty and the growth and the youth of the Philippines.
Okay.
And,
well, maybe we can start this interview with talking about the dream, right? Like how you started formulating this dream. And maybe we start with, how did you meet Diego Lorenzo, your co-founder?
Yeah, it was very interesting. So he was a friend of a good friend, and it was during COVID time, and there were not many things to do. So at the time, I had like a boat I was chartering in Batangas, and we organized my friend's birthday party in the boat.
Yeah.
And Diego came over, and that's where we actually spent a bit of quality time.
Yeah.
And he liked the fact that I was very hands-on. So I was, fixing the bilge pump and changing the oil and all those things.
Oh, so you know your way around a boat.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way. You're in a country where, there is not many people that can actually do it. So either you do it or difficult to get it done.
And that's partly your training in aeronautical engineering, right? Building things.
Yeah.
Understanding how things work.
I was also born in a small town in Spain with like 70 people or so.
Sorry, so say 70?
70. Yeah, if we go there, we're probably 75.
Where is that town?
In northern part of Spain, near León.
Yeah.
And so from a very early age, I spent, time doing things myself, building walls and welding doors and learning how to rivet and to cut and all those things. So it kind of came natural to do things myself and to get my hands dirty, something I really, really, really enjoy.
Do you think coming from a small town like that makes one more likely to be an adventurer, like to go out and find a life somewhere else?
It's very bipolar, but it can. If you have this adventurous mindset and you're born in an ecosystem that's, wild and rough and outdoors and rural and cold and all that, it really ignites this adventurous mindset in you. You can also say, well, I'm going to stay here the rest of my life, and I never want to take an elevator. I never want to live in a condo. But who I am, it's 100% determined by the fact that I was born in a very small town that freezes over 50 days a year. So
so as a young man, you always knew that you'd be somewhere else, that you would go out somewhere?
I knew I was going to be mobile, and I knew I had to try new things and experience new things and go around. I had no idea I would end up in the Philippines, but I knew I had to be an adventurer, and I knew I had to travel and get to know new places, 100%.
So we were talking earlier about this phenomenon in Spain, right? I think in the 15th, 16th century, right? This concept of the Indianos.
Correct.
Right? Tell me a little bit about that. It was fascinating.
Yeah. So Spain has had times when it was very comfortable, and Spain had times when it was very tough, right? So I guess the last tough event we had was the Civil War. We had it for 3 years, 1936 until 1939. So that was a very tough event. So many people would actually go from Spain to, calmer and brighter countries. At the time, Venezuela was a fantastic place to be. Mexico was a fantastic place to be. And those people who would go there would actually go there with lots of energy, and they were extremely hungry. And they would start businesses. For instance, Grupo Modelo, Corona is a very good example of a business started by this profile of Spanish people. And I guess I'm part of that group. But these days, I guess Venezuela is a bit more difficult than it used to be, and Mexico at that point, can be not 100% safe. So I guess I'm going to the part of the world that's really thriving and that's growing very fast.
This is where the action is, right?
Southeast Asia and Philippines in particular.
So you are, in fact, a modern-day Indiano.
I'm a 21st century Indiano,
21st century
100%.
Okay, so tell me, so this Indiano, you meet Diego, and how does that meeting end up in this?
Well, he liked the fact that I was very hands-on. And I was able to make a boat work in Batangas, being from this small town in Spain. So he said, well, this guy is crazy enough to do all these things. And he thought that those skills would eventually be, very good to scale up a company like Pickup Coffee. Because opening one coffee shop is one thing. Opening 1,000 coffee shops is a completely different animal, right?
So where did this idea for Pickup Coffee come from?
So we got inspiration from Kopi Kenangan in Indonesia.
Okay, Kopi Kenangan,
At the time, they had maybe 600, 700 stores, and they had been growing extremely fast. And we thought, well, there is nothing like Kopi Kenangan in the Philippines, so why not make it Filipino and get the ube latte and all those things, and try to offer this new high-quality coffee everywhere, or in as many places as possible here in the Philippines.
And you started this in 2022, right? 2022?
2020, we had our 3rd year anniversary now, so 2022,
And so what was the original vision back then? Like when you and Diego were plotting to start this thing, what was in your head?
Well, you don't know
what were you seeing?
You don't know what you don't know, right? So you start focusing on little things, let's make it very affordable. So it starts at 50 peso, and let's try to be in as many places as possible. So we have to be very capillary, and for that, we need our stores to be relatively small so that we can be in many places. And then it kind of builds up. If you ask me, Jaime, are you going to have more than 400 stores 3 years down the line? I would say, hey, Manny, you're crazy. How are we going to scale from 0 to 400 in less than 3 years? There is no way we can do that, right?
That's right.
So we focused on little things that kind of the little ingredients that created the final recipe, which is Pickup Coffee.
But the concept, if I remember correctly, was high quality, affordable coffee.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
That's the dream you started with.
That's still the case.
And so what made you think there was potential, right? How did you know the mass market would be interested in this?
Well, at the beginning, you guess, you don't know. But I remember very, very clearly, we opened the first online dark store in February, 3.5 years ago. And we opened like 12 p.m. or something. And we were open until 7 or 8 p.m. And that day we had so many orders. We had spent 0 pesos in advertising. Nobody knew what was Pickup Coffee. And it was catching fire from the get-go. So we looked at ourselves and said, well, maybe there is something,
So that was the moment.
That was the moment.
When you thought, my God, there's something big here.
100%. And that was day one. And of course, once we opened our first cart in Uptown at the time, it was unbelievable how many coffees we would serve a day, 24/7.
Wait, you started with one cart?
One cart in Uptown.
In Uptown?
That's when we started.
How many a day? How many?
More than 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, we were at the time we were fundraising, and we would send our numbers, and people wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
They thought we were, actually faking the numbers. So they would send somebody over and actually sit down and count people coming to the store because they wouldn't believe the numbers we were doing were real. It was.
Were you worried about going against much larger global brands with lots and lots of money? And already an established brand name. Were you worried at all about this?
Not really. And we, when in business school you learn what's the problem you're trying to solve. And we're trying to solve a different problem than, I guess, these big multinational, big companies are trying to solve, right? We are going for efficiency, we're going for speed of service, we're going for quality, we're going for convenience, right? And most of our locations are eventually outdoors, so we can foster that speed, that good service, that quality, that presence, but our locations are not huge like other competitors who, of course, are solving for a different problem.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit from the dream to the scaling up.
Okay.
Right? And you guys have scaled up, man. You guys have scaled up very quickly. I think close to 400 stores.
More than
400 stores in 3 years. Very simple question. How did you do that? What did you need to get right to be able to do that?
Well, first and foremost, our product and our concept was welcomed by Filipinos from the get-go. And that's key, right? If you don't have product market fit, there is not much you can do.
So whose recipes are these? Who is the keeper of the taste here?
Now we have a big team actually working on product development. At the beginning it was Kiko.
Who's Kiko?
Kiko, he's one of our co-founder of Pickup Coffee, and he was, I guess, the taste and flavor of Pickup Coffee, and he's the one who designed most of the recipes. Of course, I guess with feedback from many people, not me, because that's not my
He's the
forte.
coffee aficionado, Kiko.
Yeah, he knows. He's very good with flavors. He understands the Filipino palate very well.
Okay.
And he's very good with that.
What was his background?
He used to work with another coffee company and restaurants.
Okay,
he has been in the F&B.
This is his
in
world.
the Philippines.
Yeah.
So he knows the Filipino palate, eyes closed.
Yeah. But to get to 400 plus right in 3 years, there must be something about your operations that allows you to do this. Because part of this, I assume, is you need to maintain consistency across all of these stores. What allowed you to be able to do that?
So culture, every time somebody asks me, I always say culture, right? You can open 1 coffee shop, 5 coffee shops, and it's easy. Now, opening 400 is extremely complicated. And if you don't have a mechanism to predict how everybody is going to behave on their own, it's very difficult to make it happen, right? So we put lots of effort and culture so that we all think in a similar way and we all react and behave in a similar way, right? So that our outcome is predictable, not only from a product perspective, but also from a service perspective, from a frugality perspective, from a growth perspective, from all perspectives, right? So we are Pickup Coffee. It doesn't matter who it is within Pickup Coffee, we all think, directionally on the same way.
Okay. How do you get that culture to permeate the whole team?
Well, at the beginning, it's us, so the ones who were there since the beginning. And then at some point, it's all about, processes and of course, defining what's the vision, what's the culture, what's the mission, and making sure that permeates within the whole organization and saying it over and over and over again.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, do you talk about that a lot? And you're saying, you do it over and over.
I do. I cannot talk to many people anymore because we're north of 3,000 people and I'm only one, right? So I don't have time to talk to that many people anymore. But now we have the processes in place and everybody, the -1s and -2s and -3s and -4s, we make sure that, the culture and the message cascades down so we all understand who we are and what we're doing.
How did you use your engineering skills?
Because
I think I remember at one point you were building stuff, for the kiosk and welding. Tell us a little bit about how you used your engineering skills to do this.
So we try to make processes efficient as much as possible. And we try to be vertically integrated. And that's kind of the DNA of Pickup Coffee. So lots of construction and development that you see in Pickup Coffee, whether it's cart or a brick and mortar or whatever it may be, it has been done in-house and it has been optimized as much as possible so that we can, eventually be profitable and be a sustainable company selling coffee at 50 pesos, which is not easy.
Which is not easy.
Yeah.
Okay. But you still make stuff yourself?
We still do it, yeah.
You
Day and
personally,
night.
because I remember.
I mean, I built the first few carts, and one of them actually collapsed in my neck. So yeah, I had my hands very dirty.
Yeah.
I guess I delivered probably the first 5 or 6. Actually, myself driving the pickup truck with the coffee cart in the back.
Yeah.
Assembly grounds was the last one I delivered. And of course, at some point you cannot do that anymore. But
So how do you and Diego and Kiko split up your responsibilities, right? Because the key, right, to a happy place is everyone doing their own thing, right, and relying on each other to get that done.
Yeah, it has been extremely mobile because at the beginning we didn't know, and in fact I was gonna be focusing more on tech, and then Kiko was gonna be doing more of the expansion, but then at some point we realized, hey, I'm probably not the best one to do tech, and somebody else is not the best one to do something else. So we kind of exchanged roles until we found what we're best at, and then we took it from there. And of course, now the team is much bigger, and lots of non-founder people have joined the team. But at the beginning, it was, hey, is it working, not working? If it doesn't work, change it. If it works, don't fix it, and keep going. I think we were very, 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 if you want, volatile and mobile at the beginning.
That's right. That's right. What for you has been the biggest headache to scaling?
We haven't had like big headaches.
Yeah.
I guess we've had lots of instances in which we have chosen locations that are not the best ones because again, we didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't have data. We didn't have many stores to get data from and to see what works, what doesn't work, what is the segment that likes pick up coffee, what time they like it at, and all that. So probably choosing locations that were not the best was the biggest mistakes we did. But again, thanks to Pick Up Coffee being Pick Up Coffee, we can always relocate those into other areas. And the more we have, the more intel we have, and the better decisions we can make to open new locations.
As you're scaling, how do you balance, on the one hand, affordability, speed, and then quality, right? So imagine, right, things are getting busier, there's more to do. How do you balance these two things?
Well, now we have more scale. So we have actually a whole team dedicated to consistency and dedicated to quality. Yeah. And then every store gets audited and baristas and all that. So we have very clear metrics on quality of product, quality of service, speed, and all that. Yeah. So we're actually much more controlled and we know much better what we're doing than before, because before it was gut feeling. Oh, is this store doing great, not doing great, what's going on here and there? But now we actually have the metrics, and we monitor those metrics on a consistent basis, so we know what's going on.
So you guys are data-driven?
Beyond data-driven, as much data-driven as possible. Yeah. And our market actually gives you lots of data, because we have the app, and of course, we know when people buy, on what people buy, and we have the POS. Gives you lots of data every day. Millions of transactions.
How often are you looking at the numbers?
Me, every day.
The team, you and Kiko.
We look at the numbers every day.
Yeah.
Different people look at different numbers, but they look at numbers every day. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is look at sales, and average daily sales, and what was sold the most, and the least, and what happened to the LTOs, and
And if I look at the numbers right now, if I dive in, would you say the patient is very healthy right now?
Yeah. Hey, we're growing very well, and we know what we're doing. Since we have the data, we know what we're doing, we know what we're doing right, and we know where we need to improve, and we're working on that. Of course, nobody's perfect, and we are, of course, nowhere close to perfect, but we know where we have to go, and we have the data for that, which is the key to actually solving the little issues you find along the way.
What's your philosophy with respect to your menu, right? Because you started with coffee. Then I think over time there was food. There's now different drinks like yogurt drinks. How do you guys think about the menu?
Well, we try to think outside the box, right? And cater to what Filipinos need. And at the beginning, we had like a relatively simple menu. And we didn't have lots of matcha. We didn't have yogurt. We didn't have lots of teas. We didn't have lots of boba. We didn't have many things we have now, right? But as we go, we have this culture in which we launch LTOs, so limited time offerings, and we see which ones work and which ones don't work, and the ones that work, we keep them, and the ones that don't work, we just keep iterating until we find something that sticks, and that works very well. Our most recent launch is the Pistachio series, and it has been working extremely well, and this is something we launched maybe 3-4 months ago.
What is it? What's the Pistachio series?
Is
it drinks, food?
Drinks. It's a group of drinks, maybe 5 or 6 drinks with a base of pistachio. Some of them are coffee-based, some of them are non-coffee based, and it's actually becoming very, very popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite ice cream is pistachio. So I'm going to have to try this.
There you go. Yeah.
Thing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the brand. Like,
Okay.
how do you guys think about the brand, the Pickup Coffee brand?
Okay.
What does it stand for?
So Pickup Coffee stands for, it's a very young brand.
Yeah.
It's aspirational, but it caters to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So we are, if you want, aspirational. I'm not a marketeer by any means, but that's what they say.
Aspirational.
Aspirational. So we want to be aspirational, but cater to everybody. We're very fresh. We're very clean.
Yeah.
We're very young, and we are. We are catering to people who are on the go, who are on the move, who are fresh, who want to be picked up, who want to move forward, who want to be better, who want to be faster, and of course, who want to have something that's very good quality, but pay something that's very affordable. So that's, I guess, our brand.
Okay. So as you think about your scaling up journey, right? So you're in 400 plus. Like, what are your goals for the next couple of years in terms of growth?
Yeah. So we have to continue to do things well.
Yeah.
We have to continue to deliver as much value as possible, and we have to continue to scale as much as we can. Maybe scaling 40, 50 stores a month is too much. Maybe the sweet spot is 20, 25, 30. We'll see. But that's the goal, to continue to scale as much as we can and do things as well as we can. And if that's the case, we will very surely add 200 stores maybe per year, give or take.
Yeah.
And then you make the math, 600, 800.
Yeah.
And sooner than later, we are close to 1,000.
And what's the strategy? Are you going for like major metros, second-tier cities?
It changes, Manny.
Yeah.
It changes because we go to places and we are actually amazed by how welcome Pickup Coffee is and how many sales we have in a location that we thought wouldn't work that well. So we're actually now going into tier 2 and tier 3 cities.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that those stores are performing very well. So our strategy kind of changes as we learn more and as we have more data. And we'll just keep testing.
And do you partner a lot with third parties for your locations?
As in brokers or?
No, partner, let's say with gas stations.
Yeah, we partner with gas stations. We partner with shopping malls and all that. So probably maybe 30% or 40% of our stores are like big chains. Yeah. And we have maybe 40, 50, 30, 60 stores with them. But some others are also mom and pop, like somebody who owns a building and has a nice lobby or a standard brick and mortar location in a shopping mall.
So that's the Philippines. Are you thinking at all about expanding outside the Philippines?
Yeah, we are thinking, and we launched Mexico.
Mexico, Pampanga?
Mexico, North America, around a year and a half ago. And we are close to 40 stores in that part of the world. And it's been a while.
This is the first time I've heard. I mean, I've been looking at the ecosystem for more than a decade, both here, Indonesia, Malaysia, right? I think this might be the first time I've heard of somebody from Asia going into LATAM.
Correct. Yeah.
Within the first 3-4 years.
Correct.
Well, tell me why. What's the reason for Mexico?
Well, we looked at, again, we're very data-driven. So we put on, column number 1, all the countries.
Yeah.
On column number 2, GDP per capita, coffee consumption, and many other metrics. And we started analyzing countries. And when you look at a place like Indonesia, which may seem very attractive, 200 million people and all that, and then you see that competition is very strong, then you say, well, maybe I don't want to go to Indonesia. Yeah. And then you look at Malaysia, a smaller country, again, lots of competition. Maybe I don't want to go to Malaysia. And then after looking at many countries, we actually thought that Mexico would actually be a good fit for Pickup Coffee.
Yeah.
In terms of coffee consumption, in terms of how big the market is, in terms of culture, in terms of religion, in terms of, everything, all the indicators we looked at. And we kind of jumped into the pool knowing there was a little bit of water. Yeah. And so far it's been okay.
So this is an example of reverse colonization. Because you remember, right? The Philippines was ruled via Mexico.
Correct.
Remember this, right? With the
correct.
viceroy sitting in Mexico.
That's correct.
And I guess, who was his employee? Was the Governor General here, right?
Yeah. So we're actually kind of, going back.
This is reverse
history.
galleon trade.
Yeah, it is. That's correct. That's correct.
That's awesome. I mean, any other places you guys are thinking about, or just this?
So for now, we have these 2 countries. Yeah. And there is, 110 million here and another 110, 120 million in Mexico. So we think that's big enough. Yeah. And we just need to continue to perform and open good stores, and we should be fine.
Yeah. So as you get bigger, as you do more things, tell me a little bit about how you're spending your time.
Well, I'm one of the very few employees of workers in Pickup Coffee who speaks Spanish. So I'm spending a bit more time and brain power in Mexico.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's replicating, because I was here since the beginning. So replicating everything that we did, or as much as possible what we did in the Philippines, in Mexico. And that's where I spend most of my time these days.
Now, I know you also speak Tagalog, right?
I try.
No, I think it's actually quite impressive. You've only been here, since 2022? And so maybe share with me some of your favorite Tagalog phrases.
Pwede na. It's always possible. Yeah, I have to learn Tagalog because I started interacting with many people who didn't speak English.
Yeah.
Many people, in the province and the jungle, and when I go fishing. Sa probinsya.
Kaya mo sa probinsya?
Pwede na.
Pwede na.
Kung punta ko mangingisda doon.
Mangingisda? Wow.
Oo, hindi marunong sila mag-Tagalog. Of course, I never learned the grammar, so I speak as I speak.
Yeah.
But it's true that, I know a few words that
right? It helps a lot.
It helps a lot. It helps a lot. Especially when you go to the province, many people, don't or are nakakahiya. They are shy to speak English. So actually,
all right.
It's helpful. It's very helpful.
Very good. And when you're in Mexico, no cultural issues, right? It's just easy for you, Mexico.
Well, it's easy. It's different. Every country is different, and all the rules are different, and things as simple as a notary. A notary in the Philippines is different than a notary in Spain, and is different than a notary in Mexico. And BIR in the Philippines is different to BIR in Spain and different to BIR in Mexico. And the rules here and there are different. So getting used to the country and learning all these little rules here and there actually takes a bit of time. And actually also knowing how people are going to behave before they behave, and whether you have to, they want to say face and white lies and all these things. Every country is different, and you just need to get used to it. And kind of be smarter than your, inner feelings, and not overreact.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah.
Okay, so now we move from the scaling up to the part that we love most at Endeavor, right? That paying it forward. Right? Because what we encourage entrepreneurs to do is first dream very big, bigger than you used to. Let's dream bigger. Then go and scale up, right? Become a big success. And then we say, hey, after that, it's time to pay it forward, right? So reinvest your success in the next generation of entrepreneurs. So now that you're an Endeavor entrepreneur, right? I guess you've been an Endeavor entrepreneur since last year.
Correct.
24.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about this whole pay it forward multiplier phenomenon, right? That we encourage you guys to live.
Well, I think it's fantastic. And I've been we are still very young, and we've been with Endeavor for around a year, but we've been able to be part of mentoring sessions with other entrepreneurs, and that has been very enriching both ways.
Oh, this is with the Scale Up program we have.
That's with the Scale Up.
I guess for earlier stage companies, right?
Correct. So I really enjoy the spending time with entrepreneurs who are like me, but I guess 7 years or 10 years younger.
I think I saw a few pictures of you talking. I was thinking, wow, Jaime talks so fast. Will they be able to keep up with it?
Only simple things. So even if it's fast, it's easy to understand.
Do you remember
we're not geniuses.
Do you remember what you shared with them? What were some of the things?
I try to share things that are practical, so day to day, right? We're not geniuses, and we're not going to start strategizing and talking about complicated things. More talking about the day to day, the grinding, the focusing on little things, making simple decisions on a daily basis, realizing errors sooner than later, acting on them, not having too many biases that we tend to have as humans, taking decisions fast, failing fast, all those little things that I guess everybody tells you, but when you're there, and you're biased and you don't realize it, well, after the fact, I was biased for so many months and I wasn't able to pull the trigger. So I was trying to be more tactical on those little hints and how to...
Well, we're excited about you guys paying it forward even more as you go up the mountain of success. Because if you look at some of our other entrepreneurs around the world, right, they end up investing in these other companies. They end up sharing their connections with other people. Some of them end up sitting on the boards of Endeavor, right? Like Ron Ho's here in the Philippines. Quite a bunch of them end up also investing in our fund, right? We have this thing called the Catalyst Fund, which invests in the Endeavor entrepreneurs. I'm hoping that's something you and Diego and Kiko will get excited about.
1,000,000%. I guess we need time to develop naturally as a company, and we're still deep in the trenches.
Yeah.
So imagine Belgium in First World War, so deep in the trenches. But eventually, as we scale and we evolve as a company and we mature, then we'll be in that position in which to invest in the ecosystem and continue to pay it forward.
Awesome. I have a few more questions as we end, right? So looking back, what's one lesson you learned the hard way, right? So in the last 3 years.
Well, thank God in Pickup Coffee, we have been very fast making decisions. And we had many eyes paying attention to what was going on. And I guess nothing went unnoticed. So we didn't have to make like a huge decision that was either make it or break it. It was more about making small decisions as things were working or not working so that we can actually steer the boat in the right direction. So I wouldn't say there was like this huge strategic decision we had to make. It was more like, okay, this recipe is not working, change it here. This process is not working, change it there. This thing is not right, correct it. Or this thing is doing fantastic, double down and continue to go that route.
What do you think is one of the most important lessons or pieces of advice you can give to somebody trying to start a business today?
Yeah.
Based on your 3 years of experience building Pickup Coffee.
Yeah. Number one, as I said, I was born in a small town.
Yeah.
So, and I like putting the example of catching rabbits. So number one, if you want to catch a rabbit, you need to be in a place where there is rabbits. If there is no rabbits, you're not going to catch it. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is you have to be in an ecosystem that's entrepreneurial. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to be surrounded by entrepreneurs who have ideas, who are mobile and all that. And number two, you need to try hard. So the first rabbit you see, the rabbit will outrun you, outsmart you, out everything you. And you will not catch the first rabbit. Then the second one, it's going to turn right. Then you go, a little bit faster, and eventually you will catch your first rabbit. So it's a lot of being in the right ecosystem and trying.
Okay.
So I guess that's the only way to catch a rabbit.
Okay, so that's sharing your experience. What about looking forward? Where do you see Pickup Coffee 10 years from now?
Well, that's a difficult question.
I know. I want to give you difficult questions.
3 years ago, we didn't exist. So 10 years from now, Pickup Coffee should have thousands of stores here and in Mexico.
Yeah.
Should potentially either have been acquired or should be a public company.
Yeah.
And I think Pickup Coffee should be beyond coffee. We should start, targeting other segments within the same principle of, efficient, high quality, affordable, fast food and beverage.
Yeah.
Beyond coffee, I think there is other opportunities.
And so if you happen to have the fortune of being able to exit, right, 10 years from now, what's Jaime González Fernández going to be doing after you exit?
Well, I guess I will never be able to.
Playing handball? I know you were a professional handball player, right?
That was back in the days.
Or fishing, maybe.
I will probably spend lots of time in nature. I love fishing and I love hunting and I love conservation, of course. So I would spend a lot of time, different continents, different ecosystems, and being close to animals and being close to different cultures, for sure.
But I would say, pero eres emprendedor.
I am.
Right? So even after you exit, right?
I will continue to do a million things.
Yeah.
I don't know, Manny.
Okay.
I'm still very young, so
I know.
I haven't thought about that too much yet.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of time to think about it.
That's right.
So we're going to end with some rapid fire questions, if that's okay.
Let's go.
Okay. I'll just ask you 4. Favorite Pickup Coffee drink?
Flat white.
Why? Why flat white?
Punchy, energetic, fast.
Okay. Like, why didn't you call it
rugged?
Why didn't you call it Jaime Coffee then?
Cape Castilla. We have Cape Castilla. That's Cape Castilla.
Wait, what's in it? What's in the Cape Castilla?
Spanish latte.
Okay.
We have condensed milk and a few other things, but Cape Castilla, that's after me.
That's
and
after
Cape Mestizo after Diego.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from Pickup Coffee, can you name one startup in the Philippines that you admire? And tell me why. Apart from Pickup Coffee.
I think Kumu. And the reason why I like Kumu is they have been able to adjust extremely fast. And that's something that's not easy. Changing with COVID and going from something that was kind of the original idea to something that's now completely different is extremely complicated. And I think that's something to be admired.
Okay, fantastic. 2 more questions.
Yep.
If you were not an entrepreneur today, what do you think you'd be?
I'd be in a ranch raising cattle.
Serious?
Yeah.
Where, in what country?
I've been nature.
Where?
North America, Africa,
Okay.
probably Spain,
Cowboy Jaime.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Vaquero Jaime.
Yeah, I mean that's a cowboys started. That's a Spanish origin.
All right.
Yeah.
My last question here is, can you share with us your personal motto or your personal mantra? The Jaime González Fernández motto.
I don't think I have like one, but I should probably build one. For me, it's about being free.
Yeah.
For me, it's about adventure.
Yeah.
For me, it's about discovering new places. So along those lines is my personal mantra.
Okay. Freedom and adventure.
Correct.
Thank you so much. With that was Jaime González Fernández, the operator behind Pickup Coffee, proving that execution is everything when it comes to scaling a great idea. Follow HIPE on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also follow Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to continue this conversation, you can do so in the Rappler Communities app. I'm Manny Ayala, and you've been listening or watching Rappler Presents HIPE Stories.